Hi, this is PR Sundar. Welcome to Pre-Market Report sponsored by taxbuddy.com, a leading tax filing portal in India. Things are looking very bad. So yesterday when we closed, US futures were actually higher. When US markets opened, Dow in fact shot up nearly 300 plus point. From 300 plus point, and it came and closed nearly 300 point minus. So that was a total swing of about 600 point, and now US future is down by another 200 point. So which means that from yesterday when we closed and from that high to now low, it's nearly 1000 point. And US market, it is just falling. Earlier, as and when there is some data like consumer price inflation data or Fed policy or some other news is there, the markets used to fall. But now for the last many day, as of yesterday, Dow fell for 6 continuous sessions. And in all these 6 days, I think there was no news at all. And now, seventh day, the future is also down, and also there is no news. And in these 7 days, the market fall was like, I think it's more than 2000 point. I think it's about 7-8%. So US market, it is just falling like anything. S&P 500 broke June month low. The closing low was broken already, but even the intraday low was broken yesterday, and now it is down another 30 points, so another 1%. And Asian markets are mostly down, and I think today, uh, actually, Asian markets were slightly outperforming the European and US markets, but for last 2 days, so they are also down significantly. And I think there was a news that China currency is depreciating both onshore as well as offshore. So once in 2016, I think in 2015, so the China devalued its currency. So that day there was a big gap down in the world markets. So the people are fearing. So now they say the China currency is the weakest since 2008 Lehman Brothers collapse. So SGX Nifty indicating roughly about 200 point gap down. And yesterday, because the European markets were higher, US futures were higher, in the last 10-15 minutes, there are some slight short covering. Nifty shot up nearly about 40-50 points. In fact, Nifty future was almost 50 point premium to the spot, but now that is having the effect. So it's going to be a 200 point gap down. Now Nifty is closer to 16,800, and there are some gap at 16,800. So that gap has to be filled as per some technical analyst. So I think that 16,800 should be the strong support now. So if that fails, the next support is only at 16,000. So the markets are really looking very bad. And yesterday, looking at the open interest, so there was a huge amount of calls have been written at 17,100, 17,200, 17,300. So in fact, I have also sold those call options. So the huge amount of calls are written, and put options, there was a lot of unwinding in the put option. So there was no addition of put option. So probably 16,500, maybe where you can see some addition in the put option. Right. So 16,900, there are some put option. But again, so these things, you can't see individually. So probably people might have shorted future and then, selling the put option so that, if market comes down, they can make some money. Market goes up also, they will have some kind of a buffer. So that possibility is also there. So in fact, 17,100, So is where the highest open interest added yesterday. I'm not talking about positionally, I'm talking about this one. And if you look at the put call ratio, so it keeps going down. Now the put call ratio stands at 0.57. So usually, one thing I'm very much worried when the markets fall such a big like US. So usually the markets will bottom out, and one day when there is a bigger fall happens, like where stocks will fall 8-10% in single day. So that is when the markets will bottom out. So I do not know even today whether that qualifies, because today 200 point gap down is also a very big one. But what happened in 2008 and 2020, both Asia and Europe were US all behaving the same way. But now I thought, Asian markets are resilient. So US market is an inflation problem. Europe market is a gas problem because of Russia-Ukraine war. But Asia was not affected much. But now, for the last few days, so we are also joining the European and US sell-off. So now, when Russia is talking about a nuclear strike, the bigger worry comes to my mind, is that in 2008, Lehman Brothers collapse. So one down circuit came, and then only market bottomed out. And 2020 coronavirus, one down circuit came, so then only the market bottomed out. So hope that does not happen this time. So now we have come to 16,800. So people say there was a gap up at 16,800, so that gap may be filled. That is one thing. Second thing, what I am thinking, so we went to 15,200. That was the lowest, and sometime in June, and then so we shot up, and our currency has depreciated about 10% from that point. So if you take that 10% currency depreciation, so though we are around 16,800, so 10% of 16,800 is about 1,600. So we are somewhere around 15,200 in dollar terms. So, the globally also, the markets are at 52-week low, and we are also near 52-week low in dollar terms. So that is why I believe that, so we may, try to stabilize around 16,800. But if 16,800 is broken, so that's going to be very, very bad. So the next support is only at 16,000. So anyway, any intraday bounce, I think now it is time to cut your long positions. So that's what I'm doing, but still I have large positions. So cutting down the positions is going to be very difficult for me. And I'm just managing by selling some short-term options, and still the loss in my long-term options will be more. So yesterday I thought, once 17,000 is broken, I thought the worst may be over. So I squared off all my call options, which I sold in October, November, and December. But now it is gapping down another 150, 200 point. So anyway, although it is showing it as 200 point, from yesterday's low, it should be around 100 point. So then let us see whether there is any intraday recovery. So I think if there is any intraday recovery towards 17,000, so I think either you have to exit or you have to create some short position through options. So this time I left the chance, and I was thinking so many times to buy put option. Had I bought the put option, I would have made much more money than selling call options. In call options, I'm just getting 10, 15 rupees. And had I bought the put option, I would have got 100, 200 rupees. So anyway, I'm not a buyer, so I just have to train myself to be a buyer. So hope you enjoyed listening to this audio. Thank you for listening.